and happy Valentine's Day. If you haven't checked out my other two videos on romantic reads, I did a fantasy one and I did a YA one. And today it's just my favorite all-time romance, love stories, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day 2018 and happy February. If you enjoyed this series, yeah, just comment down below and tell me if there's any other things you want to know or want to read or whatever. Or if you've read all these books, which most, like if you are an avid reader or a romantic reader, you probably have. One of the best books ever written about love, or the best book ever written about love, is the Bible. I could not mention, like, I don't know, I could not mention the Bible when you're thinking about love, because that's what the story is the story of love. But let's go on to our favorite fictional stories, right? Yeah, these are pretty exciting for me because, yeah, I love all of these individually, probably because of like periods in my life when I actually read them. They meant something to me, but also they're just good romances and good love stories. Okay, so these ones are really exciting. Let's start with some, yeah, they're all quite popular ones, but yeah, let's start with Water for Elephants by Sarah Gwynne. This story is really cute, and it's got an old man. It's funny and it's lovable and it's historical. Not so much. It's not like one of those big ones, but yeah, it is in the past. But it's a good story. It was a good movie. The movie's just as good as the book. Once again, I've read her other books. I've read all of the ones I think she's produced, and they're all, she's very good at characterization. So if you like characterization, read this one. But yeah, it's a really good story about a young man who became a veterinarian and meets a woman who's older and is already in a relationship, but it's an abusive relationship. But yeah, it's a really good book. This came out like when I was like right after I graduated from high school and everything. So yeah, I really like this one. I was real into romance at that point in my life. Real into romance. So yeah, this one's a good book. Just good all around book. The next one is very popular. Like, I couldn't mention best romantic reads without mentioning Nicholas Sparks. Whether it's The Notebook or whatever, or A Walk to Remember, or Last Song, or whatever is your favorite Nicholas Sparks book, you have to mention this writer because he's written some of the most famous romantic reads in the 21st century. And then The Lucky One is my favorite by him of all time. I know I mentioned the other day in YA, The Last Song I really liked, but this one is like truly my favorite. The movie is not as good, disclaimer, because the book is so much about a character who's like internalizing everything and he's a very quiet person. The movie doesn't come across that way. So the book is so much better. The book is worth the read this time. Yeah, it's really, really good. I know there's Notebook fans, but who are going to hate me for picking this one over The Notebook. But yeah, this one is my favorite by him. And then let's talk about Romeo and Juliet. I could put Romeo and Juliet in here. I put it in YA. It is one of my favorite reads of all time, but it is written well. It talks about love so beautifully. But I really, really love this book too. And it is called Juliet, and it's by Anne Fortier. And this is about like this woman who does all this research and knows about Juliet's past, of where Shakespeare originally got the idea, of what town Romeo and Juliet kind of originated out of folklore before Shakespeare wrote about it and everything. So this book is really good if you want to read kind of like the behind the scenes of Romeo and Juliet. It has a very good love story in it. It is fictitious. After all, Juliet ends up in modern day in this book, but it's really, really good. It is recommended by the girl who did Water for Elephants, but this is actually a way better book. Way better. I love this book. Maybe it's just because I love Romeo and Juliet so much, but if you like that story, read this. It is so good. One of my favorite romantic reads I've ever read. All right, so my shirt says "Just Say Pretty," so you cannot not mention Outlander, right? I don't own my favorite. My favorite is Dragonfly and Amber, But you can't have it without the original Outlander, which I don't own that either, but I do own Voyager. And this was a good one too. It follows obviously the epic adventure of Claire and I cannot remember anybody's name to save my life. And Jamie Fraser. And she goes back in time. It's a time traveling one. And it is so good. If you haven't read it, if you haven't watched it, the show does follow the book immensely. Like page for page almost. It's pretty tried and true. Yeah, there's some stuff they can't. Well, actually, there's a little bit that's maybe left out, but mostly they follow the book tried and true. So if you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. It's really good romance. But yeah, love these. I can't believe I just found these like last year. And they've been around since like the 90s. So yeah, love these. There's like 8 of them. I'm in the 4th book currently because I know the characters so well now. I can just like pick it up and it's kind of like a soothing read. I don't know how to put it. It's like I always feel at home when I'm reading those books because I've read so much of them at home and I know the characters so in-depthly now. But yeah, check it out. Check out Outlander. It's really good if you haven't. It's really popular on YouTube here. On the old YouTube. Ooh, YA that has made my top 10 list ever is Eleanor and Park. This was in my YA the other day by Rainbow and Rowell, but I love it. It is my favorite YA romance read. Like the end. It is so sweet. It is so cute. I love this one. I love it. As far as children's book goes, Le Petit Prince. Children to adults will enjoy this book. Le Petit Prince isn't a natural love story, right? Because it's Rose, but it is so good. The first time I ever read it in French, it is very much a story about love. And it's endearing to me because the first time I did read it was in French. And it is so cute and so good. And it teaches you so much about how to be in love and how to love. It's a good one. And this one is really, really cute. This one is my daughter's copy because my French copy has lost its cover and it's really ugly. And my other copy is in my book stack somewhere. But this is my daughter's copy. So it is a pop-up one version of it. But it's really cute. I love Le Petit Prince. So yeah, I like this one a lot. Oh, these aren't my favorite pop-up books, but you can't not have a pop-up book of like your favorite story, right? But it's a really good one. I think it's on Netflix now. Watch it on Netflix. Oh, let's try and pronounce this guy's name. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Maybe. I have no idea. I was the worst French person ever. This one is so hard. So hard. Okay. Pam Jenoff. One of my favorite historical romance. If you're looking for a historical romance writer, read her stuff. This one is my favorite character she wrote about. My favorite book is in this book, but these are my favorite characters she wrote about. And this is called Almost Home by Pam Jenoff. It is about a girl who is she's in the foreign service for America. She went to Cambridge for a bit of her graduate studies and met a man and fell in love and he died, basically. And it's just kind of her journey back there and her journey of going through that initial period and where she's at now in her life. There is a second book to this, and the second book will make you furious. But the first book is so good. They're some of the best books I've ever read, and I love, love romance, and I love, love, love. So, they're good, but don't read the second book if you don't want to be furious. Okay. Here we go. The last two, the best two, trust me. F. Scott Fitzgerald's Great Gatsby. Yeah, it's good. Here's a picture of Scott Fitzgerald. Best book he wrote. Let's get real. If you've seen the movie, it is so good, the adaptation of it. But yeah, it's just a good story. Jay Gatsby is in love with a woman. and it is heartbreaking and sad, and she really doesn't love him properly back. This, and how well it's written, it's pretty big font. It's like 150 pages. It has complete characterization in it, a complete plot, a reason for the story. It's good. It's well written. It's so concisely written. It's one of the best romance reads of all time because of that. It shows like the vanity that can go into love, the lust that can go into love, the selfishness and the vain, all those things that can destroy love, really. And then one person's endearing, unconditional love for another person at the same time. So, yeah. The best of the best right here. Let's talk about the best romantic writer of all time. And she is the final writer. So yeah, I have two books here. One is Mansfield Park, and one is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Maybe it's because it's written from a woman perspective. I put it above The Great Gatsby or Shakespeare, but it is for me. Mansfield Park, I resonate a little bit more with the character, is my favorite Jane Austen novel. Favorite romantic novel, even though they're both romantic novels, is Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice, I read young. I loved it. I have read it nearly every year of my life. I've reread this copy. I just reread a copy because I got a Kindle. It was the first book I read. Usually when I get like electronic devices or look for things, I get copies of this because there is no other book I know better than this. This one is my favorite story though, Mansfield Park. So, good writing, very good writing, old school writing. I know sometimes it's hard to read literature, but such good romances. So good at the romance job. My personal favorite. Like, if there was anything to do with Jane Austen, I will do it. Like, I went to the Bath to see a fake house, because you can't go see the house. Somebody owns the house that she lived in, to see a fake house over going to see Stonehenge. And my husband didn't let me live it down for 5 years until we went and saw Stonehenge and went back. But I love her. I love her writing. It's good. Check it out. And if you haven't heard of these, you live under a rock. But yeah, these are my best and favorite romantic reads. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or any books I should read personally, go ahead and tell me about them. I am a romantic reader. I know some people are like, it's not my thing. I don't like love stories. I like adventure. I like books with more meaning than love. Thanks for watching my Valentine reads. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.